Did GET RX'd just release the best budget functional trainer in 2024 for your home gym?
3, 2, 1, contact!
The No Fake channel? Checking in. Jonathan here with another home gym equipment review for you. And this video is for all of you looking to get buff on a budget as we tackle the newest functional trainer from GET RX'd, the FTE-8000. If you're not familiar with GET RX'd as a company, they're actually a family-run business that's been operating for over 30 years. Now, they are based out of Houston, Texas, and we know everything's bigger in Texas, especially the massive amount of options they have on their website. What does the GET RX'd functional trainer do exceptionally well? And that has to do, number one, right off the top, with the weight and the price. Now, most budget functional trainers simply have a very light weight stack, and that's fine for like little old ladies. However, many people who try to go budget get it in-house and find that it's just simply lacking.
No! No! No!
The FTE-8000 drops the hammer with a 105-pound weight stack on each side. Now, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, so each side is actually going to have 210 pounds worth of weight, but at the handle, when you max this thing out, it's gonna feel like 105 pounds. Now, many of you saying, that's not even nearly as strong as I am, and they've got you covered there as well. You can simply get yourself what's known as a gym pin, put that into the weight stack and add additional weight on the side, or you could go ahead and get an attachment that will connect both of these handles, allowing you to do twice the weight, both full stacks at the same time. Now, many of you want a functional trainer, but you also want the ability to do lat pull downs. And with this heavy weight stack, as well as the ability to simply add weight to it, you can absolutely do a modified version of the lat pull down. The FTE-8000 retails for $1,879, but I have seen it as low as $1,700 on their website. Keep in mind, for a functional trainer that has 100-pound plus weight stacks, you are going to be spending about $2,300. For reference, the Rep Fitness Arcadia with the extra weight in order to get it over 100 pounds per side is going to be $2,300, and the Titan Fitness functional trainer comes in at $2,500. Another solid feature of the FTE-8000 has to be these pull-up handles. They give you 3 options, allowing you to hit back at multiple angles. But more importantly than the options are the handles themselves. They are extremely comfortable, a really nice diameter, and they use a high friction material so that you're not slipping and sliding. Typically with budget functional trainers, the pull-up handles are an afterthought. They're slippery, uncomfortable, and it makes you not want to utilize them. Coming in with a total overall height of 85 inches, GET RX'd chose wisely. This is going to fit in any room in your home. For reference, I have an extremely low basement ceiling, and I'm still able to not only get in the GET RX'd into my home gym down here, but still do a full, complete pull-up without hitting my head off the ceiling. Thank you for using my affiliate links, but using those affiliate links, which are in the description of today's video, not only keeps this ice bath so cold it'll make inflation shrink, it does go to help give back. So let me know when you use those links so that I can send you a small token of my appreciation. Now, one smart move that GET RX'd made has to do with the handles. They only provided these 2 plastic cheap handles. Now, these things get the job done and they absolutely work. But what most budget functional trainers will do is give you a few random cheap handles. And what happens, you don't use them, you end up going out and getting the handles that you actually want to utilize, something with a higher quality. So by not actually providing you a whole bunch of stuff you're not going to use, they were able to keep that price point down, because at the end of the day, you're still going to go out and get your own handles once you realize which ones you specifically want. With a total weight of 855 pounds, coupled with the feet stabilizers this functional trainer utilizes, it is massively stable. Even trying to do some like kipping in your pull-ups, you will find that this machine does not budge. With that sturdy stability, you can easily add in TRX ropes or even gymnastics rings to the pull-up section here, allowing you to add in a whole host of amazing exercises without actually utilizing any extra space in your home gym. Now, I'm just a little bit anal retentive, and I did feel that there were a few minor issues with the GET RX'd functional trainer that aren't deal breakers necessarily, but could have easily been fixed with little or no cost whatsoever. They say the devil is in the details, and that has never been more true than with assembly instructions for home gym equipment. It doesn't really cost you anything to put together great detailed instructions with accompanying photos. And you could go a step further at no additional cost and simply post an assembly video online on YouTube for free so that people could not only have the instructions in their hand, but also visualize it while looking at the video that you put together. I've put a ton of pieces of home gym equipment together, and many of them have horrible instructions. Well, GET RX'd FTE-8000 almost takes the cake when it comes to that. Their instructions were very poor. They had poor visuals that didn't make sense. And frankly, they actually left out 2 steps in their instructions that thankfully I knew about because I've put together functional trainers before. Another design choice that just simply puts a bee in my bonnet has to be the bolts that they chose to utilize. They require an Allen wrench to tighten. And while that may not seem like a big deal, I will say with an Allen wrench, it's not only much harder to tighten them down with your hand versus a socket wrench, it also isn't going to give you as much torque. So overall, you're not going to be able to tighten those bolts down nearly as much as if they used the other versions that would have cost the same exact thing. Another way that GET RX'd could have improved the overall design user experience, but not increase the actual cost to themselves, has to be with the loading pin. Now, full disclosure, this thing works. It's not a safety issue or a concern. However, it does not go all the way in. It doesn't bottom out. It's short about 1/4 of an inch. Also, there's just a little too much give for my liking. It's not something that should necessarily keep you up at night. But if they made this thing slightly longer and slightly thicker, like I think we all wish it was, it would be just a little bit better, and frankly, we'd appreciate it all that much more. This rear panel looks nice and gives you a few exercise suggestions, but I wish they made better use out of this space. If they simply replaced this panel with the equivalent of a pegboard, it would give you more storage options down the line, and I can't imagine it would actually cost a whole lot more to produce. Another design issue that just simply rubs me the wrong way are these side panels. Now, they serve multiple functions. The biggest is simply to make your functional trainer look aesthetic. And they accomplish that because from afar and in the marketing photos, you see that nice GET RX'd logo, and it gives it a nice aesthetic look to it. However, they're supposed to be protecting you from pinching your hands on the plates if you're goofing around down there when someone's actually utilizing the functional trainer. And there's no actual protection in the front of this thing with these cowls, so it fails in that regard. And the other thing that people probably don't think about until they get it in their home gym is the fact that these are so tall, they block a ton of light. Now, in a big, massive local gym, the ceiling lights are usually ultra bright and they're very high. But in your home gym, your lighting is almost never going to be as good. And when you get all that light blocked, it just makes for a dark area to work in. I really wish they had shortened this design by about half and had it wrap around the plate stack in order to give you some extra protection in the front.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
GET RX'd had to make some sacrifices when it comes to the FTE-8000 to keep that price point low. And across almost every budget home gym functional trainer, the #1 thing they always use is plastic pulleys.
No! No!
And I will say, I'll be honest, for plastic pulleys, the motion of this functional trainer is very smooth. It feels good. However, I really wish companies would go with aluminum pulleys. Not only does it give you a better experience, I have to imagine cost-wise, you're only looking at maybe $30 extra. I also feel that they utilized unnecessarily large pulleys. Now, I do have a mechanical engineering degree, but I don't fancy myself an engineer. But follow me here. Had they utilized smaller aluminum pulleys, they could have improved this whole design. They could have taken this upright and simply moved it higher, and they could have reduced this whole section right here to a smaller footprint, giving you much more options in terms of your starting and finishing positions of the slider. Now, at 6'1", I'll tell you, currently, the way it's designed now, I don't have any issues doing bicep curls, tricep pushdowns, or any exercises. I don't have to modify my angle of my body in order to feel comfortable and feel like I'm hitting it correctly like you would at a local gym. But if you're on the short side, you short kings, if you're like 5'3" or less, you're gonna find the bicep curls from the bottom, you're gonna have to basically take a couple extra steps back because the handle position isn't gonna be low enough. And if you're tall, 6'3" or taller, you're gonna find that like doing tricep pushdowns, you're gonna have to really take a couple extra steps back or maybe angle your body in order to not bottom out the weight when you come to the up position. Now, the overall handle is another design error. They actually gave me cables that were just too long. I've done everything I can to kind of fix this setup, but you can see it's just way too long, way more than necessary. And on top of that, there's just a little too much slack in this cable. If I ever get some free time, I'm gonna have to come in here with a pair of cable cutters, reduce the overall length, get a second set of hands in order to reset this handle so that not only it fits closer up here, but also that the cable itself is more snug, giving me a better experience. I will say they also used this weird contraption for the overall attachment of the handle. And this is completely unnecessary. There are much better, more refined options that have a much smaller footprint. And again, that would give you more height on the top end of this piece of equipment as well as on the bottom end. And better options at no extra charge is what I'm all about. The GET RX'd FTE-8000 is absolutely a decent budget functional trainer, especially if you need that heavy duty weight stack. Now at the retail price, it's certainly something you want to look over, but at that $1,700 sale price, it absolutely needs to be a must consider. Now this thing, it's not perfect, but it's going to handle anything you can throw at it, and it's going to come in a few hundred under the competition. The YouTube artificial intelligence knows that you want honest, real, authentic home gym reviews, and that's why they're suggesting these two videos for you to watch next. Now, if you made it this far, you and I are like aluminum pulleys and smooth motion. We are best friends. Thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.